issues. So moving to India, moving out of China for production, vital. The market in India is very interesting. Apple is opening 2 stores this next month in India.
Why is Apple spending a lot on iPhone manufacturing in India? This is a question many are asking, especially after the current news that Apple has invested over $1 billion within the Indian production industry. In this video, we will discover the reasons behind Apple's plan, the pros and cons of producing iPhones in India, and what this means for the density of the smartphone industry. Apple's low Indian market share. Apple is one of the world's most recognizable and influential brands, with a devoted following for their innovation and excellence. But Apple also faces stiff competition from different smartphone makers, mainly in emerging markets like India, where Android devices dominate marketplace share. One of the main reasons Apple has a low market share in India is their high prices. In 2020, Counterpoint Research reported that the mean cost of an iPhone sold in India was $751, whereas the average cost of a smartphone sold in India was $159, nearly 5 times more expensive. Apple's high prices. Apple's high prices in India are due in part to the high import duties and taxes Apple pays, as their products are not produced locally in India. The second reason for Apple's low sales in India is that while in many countries such as the US and China, consumers can buy iPhones at low prices through contracts with a carrier, whereas in India most consumers don't have access to financing options. This makes it difficult for Apple to sell its products to customers who want less expensive phones. The third reason for Apple's low market share in India is the stiff competition from other smartphone manufacturers, especially Chinese brands like Xiaomi, Vivo, Oppo, OnePlus, and more. These factors combine to increase the price of the iPhone, making it prohibitively expensive for Indian users. Apple's competition. Apple's Chinese competition offers smartphones with the same or better features and specifications than the iPhone, but at a much lower price. They have a wider distribution network and more aggressive marketing strategies than Apple in India. They cater to the diverse needs and preferences of Indian customers by offering a range of models, sizes, colors, and materials. They invest heavily in local manufacturing, research and development, and customer service, giving them an advantage over Apple in terms of cost efficiency and customer loyalty. Why India? So why is Apple interested in increasing their production in India? Well, there are several reasons. First of all, China is the only country with a larger smartphone market than India, making India the second largest smartphone market globally. India boasts over 500 million users, and that number is increasing by the day. Second, India offers lower manufacturing costs than other countries due to labor density, good government policies, and local supply. By manufacturing iPhones in India, Apple can save on import duties, export duties, and taxes, and pass on some of these savings to consumers. For example, the India-made iPhone SE 2020 will cost $100 less than the imported model. Third, India is a convenient place for Apple to diversify its supply chain and reduce its dependence on China. But manufacturing iPhones in India is not without its challenges. One of the main factors is the difference in resources and materials. India is not as technologically sophisticated and innovative as China, which means it doesn't have the capacity to develop some of the basic components and technologies needed to manufacture iPhones. India, for example, lacks the resources to manufacture OLED displays, which are used in the latest iPhones. OLED displays are thinner, lighter, and more energy efficient than LCD screens, providing excellent contrast and color accuracy. Apple sources the displays from Samsung and LG in South Korea and BOE in China. Similarly, India lacks the capacity to produce the advanced chipsets and cameras that power the functionality and features of the iPhone. Apple uses custom chipsets, such as the A16 Bionic, which is developed by Apple and manufactured in Taiwan by TSMC. These chipsets are based on the 4nm processor, which is the most advanced technology in the semiconductor industry. India has no manufacturing facility for such products and is dependent on imports. The same goes for cameras, which are also sourced from overseas manufacturers like Sony in Japan. These features are not only expensive, but difficult to assemble and incorporate into the iPhone's design, so Apple has to import a large portion of its products and components from other countries, increasing its costs and logistical challenges. Another factor that makes it difficult for Apple to manufacture the iPhone in India is the consumer market and behavior. India is a very different market than China or the US, where Apple already has a strong presence and loyal customer base. Most smartphone users in India are price conscious and look for affordable devices that offer quality features and functionality at a reasonable price. Apple iPhones are considered to be premium products, catering to a select segment of the market, which is relatively small compared to the overall Indian smartphone market. Counterpoint Research shows that Apple had a market share of only 5.1% in India in 2023 Q2, up 4% since 2020. Moreover, many Indian consumers have different preferences and expectations for smartphones than the average Apple consumer. For example, many Indian users want larger screens, dual SIM cards, and expandable storage that iPhones don't offer. These features are important for Indian users who want to consume more content on their phones, run more web applications, and store more data on their devices. Apple therefore needs to adapt its products and strategies to the Indian market and consumer behavior, which may require significant changes in its design and marketing strategy. So how does Apple deal with these challenges? Well, one way is to offer iPhones that fit different segments of the market. For example, Apple launched iPhone SE 2020 and iPhone XR in India, which is less expensive than its flagship models while also offering better performance and features. These models have received positive reviews from critics and users alike. Another way Apple has introduced budgets, marketing, and discounts to make its iPhones affordable and accessible to Indians is by investing in local innovation and development. Apple has set up several research and development centers in India, employing thousands of engineers and developers working on various aspects of its products and services. Apple has also partnered with local startups to support entrepreneurship and education in India. What does this mean for the future of the Apple industry? Apple's move to produce iPhones in India is a strategic step that reflects its ambition and vision to grow its business and influence in one of the world's biggest and fastest-growing smartphone markets. The decision has significant ramifications for the future of the smartphone industry, Apple and its rivals, and the Indian economy and society. By manufacturing iPhones in India, Apple can reduce production costs, avoid import duties and tariffs, and offer competitive prices to consumers. This could help Apple increase its market share in India. According to Counterpoint Research, Apple's market share in India increased from 4% in 2020 to 7% in the first half of 2023, due to Apple launching the iPhone 14 and iPhone 13 collection in the second quarter of 2023 from India. It also posted record revenues of Rs 2.6 billion, up from a year ago on the 100%. Manufacturing iPhones in India also gives Apple more opportunities to build its brand loyalty and customer satisfaction among Indian consumers, who are known for their high preference for quality, innovation, and service. Apple can leverage its reputation as a premium brand, as well as an ecosystem of products and services. Apple could also benefit from the growing demand for 5G smartphones in India, as it plans to launch the iPhone 15 series that supports 5G networks. According to IDC, India is expected to have 100 million 5G smartphone users by 2023. But manufacturing iPhones in India also poses some challenges and risks for Apple, as it has to compete with other players who are also competing for a segment of the lucrative Indian smartphone market. Samsung, for instance, is expanding its production and manufacturing base in India, offering smartphones in various price ranges and features, while another Chinese brand, OnePlus, has also gained popularity among Indian consumers with its new flagship smartphones. These competitors can challenge Apple's market position and profitability by offering cheaper options to consumers. Besides, Apple has to adapt to the changing needs and preferences of Indian consumers, who are becoming more sophisticated and discerning in their smartphone choices. Indian consumers not only demand affordable prices, but features like bigger screens, longer battery life, faster charging power, and more cameras. Apple needs to ensure that its products and services meet these expectations and provide the best possible experience for customers. So what do you think? Why is Apple spending so much on iPhone manufacturing in India? Do you think this is a wise or dangerous move? How do you think this will affect you as a customer or competitor? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like our channel for more interesting technical and business-related videos.